your Medicare coverage options, ensuring it aligns with your evolving healthcare needs, from flu shots to screenings.
Call 800-208-7175. 800-208-7175.
The Upper Peninsula's new CBS station, WZMQ 19.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we, along with Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, are taking a closer look at the training recruits undertake in order to join the Michigan State Police Force. Plus, Bay College takes part in National Voter Registration Day. We'll hear from one student on why she believes getting involved is so important. And we're live in Washington, D.C., where lawmakers determine the best way to tackle IVF treatment. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
It sure is a hot one out there. Again, air. This might be the last nice stretch of weather we have for the chance to hit the beaches. What do you think?
Sí, hace muy calor, caliente afuera. Yeah, it's very hot outside. We're going to expect these warm temperatures to continue not only this week, but next week as well. September, woo, spicy. I never get sick of this shot. Look at Lake Michigan, Manistee with that sun hitting the Great Lake. Gorgeous, eat it up. We've got fairly clear conditions at the moment. That sunshine still hanging on. We'll see those temperatures again dipping down into the 60s and 50s tonight. Chances of the aurora, I'll tell you about that after the break.
All right, thank you, Air. The Lieutenant Governor met with trainees at the Michigan State Police headquarters in Dimondale today. The recruits conducted training exercises and talked about the ins and outs of the training process. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more on those training sessions and the state's investment in public safety.
Every Michigan State police officer completes 20 weeks of recruit training at the Academy in Dimondale. In classes of about 50 recruits, the trainees go through daily exercises that prepare them to join the Michigan State Police Force.
We're always researching, trying to improve and progress our training to make sure it's modern and it meets today's needs.
Colonel Grady welcomed Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist to the Academy today to observe classes and training exercises and gain insight into how MSP's newest recruits are doing.
This is important to me, and so I like to be able to check in with these folks who are serving every community all across Michigan.
Colonel Grady says the most important part of the training program is the diversity of training staff in the Academy. With over 1,000 officers from Detroit to Marquette, he says their staff helps prepare recruits for any situation they could face, no matter what post they end up at.
There's a difference between patrolling the Detroit metropolitan area compared to the Southwest, the Central, or the Upper Peninsula.
During the visit, the Lieutenant Governor also discussed new equipment with officers. He says he looks forward to visiting posts across the state and that talking with trainees strengthens his confidence in our state police force.
I want to make sure that the troopers have everything they need, and Governor Whitmer are proud of the continued and consistent and actually increased investment.
Over the past 6 years, the Whitmer-Gilchrist administration has invested over $1 billion in public safety programs. Gilchrist says they plan to continue that trend to support trainees and veteran officers while increasing public safety. In Dimondale, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
In honor of National Voter Registration Day, Bay College in Escanaba held an event to get students informed ahead of the November election. Students registered to vote with the Delta County Clerk, applied for absentee ballots, and learned about early voting opportunities. They also spoke with the League of Women Voters about the issues they'll see on the ballot and met some of the candidates running for the County Board of Commissioners and the State House of Representatives.
Voting is important because it helps us lead our country the way we want it to go. What happens in this dictates our future, and it all has a big impact on your college life even.
The registration drive also provided students with nonpartisan election resources and opportunities to join political groups on campus and in the community. For millions of people across the U.S., infertility impacts their chances of starting a family. Today in Congress, the topic of IVF took center stage, with the Senate Democrats attempting to clear the first hurdle of legislation that would protect access to IVF. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp joined us live from the U.S. Capitol. Rachel, good evening.
And good evening, Kevin. So not too long ago, the Senate was unable to move forward with their first procedural hurdle, trying to pass this IVF legislation. They needed 60 yes votes, but they fell short just by a handful of votes. But today, Kevin, I spoke with a couple of members on both sides of the aisle, including Representative Jack Bergman, who offer a different policy on how to approach this IVF legislation. The issue of in vitro fertilization, better known as IVF, was put in the national spotlight earlier this year after the Alabama Supreme Court ruled embryos are children under state law, which, therefore, someone could be held liable for destroying them. It made providers temporarily stop fertility treatments in the state. The ruling made headlines. The Alabama state legislature later approved a bill to protect IVF, but many Democrats claimed it was the first step in the next battle on reproductive rights after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
If Republicans get their way, the IVF services that so many families depend on are very much at risk.
Senate Democrats are once again trying to move forward with a bill that Senate Republicans blocked a few months ago, which would essentially protect access to receive and provide IVF treatments and aim to expand insurance coverage for fertility treatments. But there have been other IVF-related bills introduced or circulated in Congress, some on a more partisan level and others bipartisan, like the House's Hope with Fertility Services Act.
It provides medical insurance coverage for people who have infertility issues.
This bill would ensure 3 causes of infertility are covered by private insurance plans, including infertility due to a diagnosed disease or physical ailment, unexplained infertility for those unable to conceive after trying for at least a year, and infertility or anticipated infertility due to treatment for another ailment like chemotherapy.
What is the number one unit in our country? Family. And the ability to have a family should be supported by good legislation and good opportunities for folks who are having challenges.
And the bill that Bergman co-sponsored has broad bipartisan support over in the House, but there hasn't been too much movement with that bill. But in regards to the Senate bill, Vice President Kamala Harris is speaking out on it following its failed vote in the Senate. She's basically, in short, Kevin, pointing the fingers at Republicans, saying in part that Republicans will not protect access to fertility treatments many couples need. Kevin, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Rachel. Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after the break. Plus, we're live from Springfield, Ohio, to hear from city officials about what they've been experiencing since they became a major talking point in the presidential election. And later, a mobile bookshop has come to Marquette. How they're planning on bringing books to you. Coming up, we're back in 2 minutes.
John's Auto has been voted the #1 dealer to buy pre-owned vehicle for longer than I've been alive. If you're looking for a vehicle, or if you're looking for someone to help with your current car, or if you need to get yours looking like new again, come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Direct.
Don't you ever look up at the sky and roll your eyes. You hear me?
Yes.
Realistic.
I will maybe have a tendency to
Spend too much and won't be able to pay your rent.
He holds the line.
I resent it, and I resent you for doing it.
Mathis Court is in session.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS.
Is your parents' car sounding funny? Do you hear any clunks, rattles, squeaks, or leaks? Tell them to call John's Auto Service Department for fast, friendly, and affordable service. Come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
The Shunk's factory authorized custom order sale. With delivery times getting back to normal, it's a great time to have it your way, get a sale price, and get 12 months to pay. Choose from hundreds of sofas, love seats, chairs, and sectionals. All the latest styles are here. Over 3,000 fabrics and leathers to pick from. Sectionals, 50 different styles to choose from, and hundreds of configurations to fit your room. It's Shunk's factory authorized custom order sale. Shop Shunk Furniture at Marquette today.
Now, award-winning WZMQ 19 First Warning Weather with Air Stasic.
Well, let's celebrate today because if you've heard me talk about her before, Inga, it is her 93rd birthday today. Love you much. Rida, rida, ranka. It's another foreign language for you today. I've hit Spanish and broken Swedish. We actually hit a record high out at the National Weather Service station here just outside of Marquette, seeing around 83, not quite close to Inga's 93-year-old age, or say years young. Our normal high at this time of the year is usually around 66. Our previous record was back in 2002, around 82 degrees. The record low, 31 back in the 1900s of 73 there, and then some rainfall back in 2012. Pretty dry out there for today and this evening. We also have a full moon today. It is the harvest moon that also includes a partial lunar eclipse that starts at around 8:41 p.m. here in Marquette, and then it'll eventually be fully covered, so to speak, around 10:44 this evening. So you might be able to capture some clip shots there. That's going to end, though, close to 1:45 in the morning. And then, like I mentioned, we've got that full harvest moon, which is also a super moon. There's only 2 left this year. And then why not? Let's throw the aurora in this whole package here. We had some beautiful shots last night. And if you have any this evening, please send them my way. KP index, around 5.67, which is pretty high for us here in the UP. So some good chances of seeing that for this evening. Look at these current temperatures, 84 in Marquette and Houghton. Those winds fairly light, still coming out of the south. We could see some gusts this evening up to 20 miles an hour, but it'll feel lovely. Current conditions with the radar, nice and dry, nothing in the sky except for those stars and that full moon, plus those northern lights. Here's a look at those lows this evening. These are the lows, my friend, which are normally our highs, right, for this time of year. We'll see around 64 here in Marquette, which means you'll wake up around 5 a.m. with that kind of temperature. Mostly clear conditions tonight. So we've talked about the radar. Here's a look at what we're expecting around 9 p.m. Still very clear conditions, and then around 2 p.m. when that KP index is at a 5, which is still relatively high for us, and then mostly sunny skies on our Wednesday. We could see a few sprinkles on our Thursday, and then maybe some showers even continuing into the afternoon there along the west half of the UP. And keep your eyes on this pretty picture down there. We do have some more chances of precipitation on the way. As far as the next 7 days here in Marquette, it's looking like Friday is our best bet for some possible showers, and then again Sunday and Monday of next week. Your 7-day outlook, that's in 15 minutes.
Thanks, Aaron. Still to come, the investigation continues into the man who brought an AK-47 to former President Trump's golf course on Sunday in what the FBI calls another assassination attempt. We'll be right back.
My passion is keeping the UP informed. After 30 years telling you about what's going on outside your house, I'm now running for state representative to keep you informed about what's going on in Lansing. We deserve a representative who will listen, learn, and lead on the issues that matter for the UP. I'll always put Peninsula over politics. With your vote, I'll work with anyone and everyone to bring clearer skies for Upper Peninsula families.
At the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, this is why we walk. This is why we walk. They're why we walk. And you know what? This is why we walk too. We walk in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's because we're getting closer to beating this disease. But to get there, we need you. Join us.
Hey, Coker, we have a job for you.
Send me the info.
You find people, right?
I'm gonna do everything I can.
Making sure you haven't done anything stupid.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, that sounded sus.
Tracker returns CBS Sunday, October 13th, part of CBS Premiere Week and streaming on Paramount+.
Did I tell you I saw Carl Bodak on the street the other day?
Whatever happened to him? Oh, he went off the deep end in conspiracy theories.
He said vaccines were like Nazi experiments.
He pushed people to take horse dewormer.
And did you hear him attacking Ed McBroom?
Yeah, saying our elections were stolen.
He even thinks climate change is a hoax.
After the winters we've been having? Such a shame. It's sad to see a nice man go bad.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. Former President Donald Trump campaigns in Flint tonight, just 2 days after a second assassination attempt. He's set to participate in a town hall event at the Dort Financial Center, moderated by Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. It's his first visit to Flint since September of 2016. Sunday, Ryan Routh was arrested after Secret Service spotted him with an AK-47 style rifle less than 500 yards away from Trump at Trump International Golf Course. Routh faces 2 firearm charges in federal court. Trump's event tonight in Flint begins at 7 p.m. In the wake of Sunday's apparent assassination attempt on Trump, a growing number of lawmakers are calling for even more security for the former president. WZMQ 19 News Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon has details on what lawmakers are saying and if they're willing to provide more funding to the Secret Service.
The apparent assassination attempt of Donald Trump on Sunday has prompted calls for additional security surrounding the former president. Some Republicans are now calling on President Biden to provide Trump with full presidential protection.
We should be outraged, and we're making every demand for that to happen.
Many Republicans have praised the actions of the Secret Service on Sunday, but say the agency needs to focus on allocating its resources.
The Secret Service, as you've seen reported, suggests that they have a manpower shortage. And look, this is about allocation of resources.
It's not necessarily more funding. I would suggest to you more coordination between the security agencies. It could be, the local county sheriff, the state police, the Secret Service.
Congressman Jack Bergman agrees that it's not so much a funding issue, but instead more of a coordination and training issue.
If we need more to provide the coordination, and if there's some different scenario-based training, because if we're not training with current 21st century scenario-based training modules, then we're behind. So we're going to look at all of that.
We all must do our part to ensure an incident like this does not happen again.
As Congress works to negotiate a government funding plan by the end of the month, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer saying this week he is prepared to provide more resources if needed to the Secret Service.
So as we continue the appropriations process, if the Secret Service is in need of more resources, we are prepared to providing it for them, possibly in the upcoming funding agreement.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
One of the most viral moments in last week's presidential debate was Donald Trump mentioning immigrants eating pets in the town of Springfield, Ohio. Since then, city officials have said repeatedly the claim is false and unverified. However, there are real challenges and benefits for Springfield getting an influx of immigrants. Our Pennsylvania State Capitol correspondent Kara Jeffers made the drive to Springfield and has been speaking with citizens and city officials. Kara, what is the atmosphere in the city?
Hello, Kevin. I've only been here kind of this afternoon, but let me tell you about 3 interactions I had. One woman crossing the street said she's never had any issues with Haitians and that hate is not the Springfield way. Another man stopped his car, rolled down his window, said, "I need to check out the local pond. The geese population has been significantly reduced." One couple I talked to said that empathy has been the majority of the community's response. There has been a housing shortages, but overall they're excited to welcome. So here's what we do know. Springfield, Ohio had an influx of around 15,000 Haitian immigrants over the past couple of years. Since Donald Trump's comments last week, the city and schools have received over 30 threats that have all proven to be hoaxes. Those schools now have state police stationed in them, around 17 different in the area. There was a presser this afternoon that the governor gave along with city officials, responding to Donald Trump saying that he might want to come visit the city, and they said that probably would not be the best idea. Resources need to be spent in other places.
If either one of the candidates
wanted to come to Springfield, it would be very, very difficult to have them here. It would be an extreme strain on our resources. So it would be fine with me if they decided not to make that stop right now.
If any of the candidates come, they will be welcomed by the people of Springfield. I have to state the reality, though, that resources are really stretched here.
Now, most of those resources are going to fix legitimate issues in the community. An influx of the population means the healthcare system not quite robust enough to meet the needs of the entire community. Haitians now make up around 15% of the population. For education, it used to be around 200 students who couldn't speak English. There's now 1,200. And car accidents have been on the rise. There's more money that needs to go towards training immigrants on how to drive on the roads. Other things, during workforce shortages, immigrants were the first to step up. Business owners this week say that Haitians are some of the hardest working, most consistent workers that they have. This is just one snapshot of immigration in America right now. From Springfield, Ohio, I'm Kara Jeffers for WZMQ 19.
Thanks very much, Kara. Marquette has a new bookstore, but it's not your typical bookseller. Our John Truitt caught up with one of the owners of Bromley's Books, a mobile bookstore coming to a neighborhood near you.
Meet Chelsea Bromley, a dedicated bibliophile, a student of literature, and the founder of Bromley's Books, a mobile bookstore housed in this converted bus. I asked Chelsea where the idea came from.
I inherited this bus from my dad. He had it as a camper van, and he took it all across the country. It was an off-the-grid camper. Eventually, I just had the idea of why not turn it into a mobile bookstore. I was really inspired by the idea of giving it new life and wanting to create community and let other people enjoy it as well.
The mobile bookstore is Chelsea's lifelong dream. Having worked in bookstores previously, Bromley tries to curate a collection of books that will appeal to everyone.
If someone comes in and they have no idea what they want, I can at least give them a few recommendations, and I'm always happy to do so.
Chelsea is of Ottawa tribal ancestry and carries a section of books that identify with her Native American culture.
Our goal is to carry a variety of books. We want to feature Indigenous authors and Native authors. I myself am a member of the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians, so it's important to me that we have representation.
Bromley's Books held their soft opening this week, with their grand opening this Thursday at Black Rock's Brewery in Marquette. In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
Mike Ludlam as your look at sports when we come back.
Anti-abortion politicians vote against your freedoms, and now they want Mike Rogers to join them. The facts. Mike Rogers said, "I support all restrictions on abortion," just like his anti-abortion backers. No exceptions for rape or incest. They even supported a nationwide abortion ban and laws that could eliminate IVF and birth control. So if you believe Mike Rogers and anti-abortion activists will protect your rights, we got a bridge to sell you.
I'm Melissa Slotkin, and I approve this message.
Sleep better with a new mattress from Kirkish Furniture. We proudly feature Made in the Midwest Restonic mattresses. Try one out today and compare other major brands. Let our sleep specialists help you find the bed of your dreams at Kirkish Furniture.
This is home for CBS, WZMQ 19.
Looking for your next level in real estate? Look no further than Next Home Superior Living. Stephanie's not just any realtor. She's energetic, talented, equipped with the latest technology and decades of experience to serve you better. At Next Home Superior Living, we're not just selling homes. We're guiding clients and customers throughout the entire transaction. That's Stephanie Jones of Next Home. Visit stephaniesells.com and let her work with you for your next home. Don't settle for ordinary. Choose Next Home Superior Living for your extraordinary real estate journey.
For more than 30 years, our community has come through, building affordable homes, making critical repairs, and building ramps for those who need a little help and a little hope. Habitat for Humanity volunteers produce amazing results treasured forever. You could be our next hero. Volunteers are needed to provide affordable housing in Marquette County. Join in, sign up, it's easy. Go to upersunited.com or use the QR code shown here. A public service message of Habitat for Humanity and WZMQ TV 19.
He's a mind reader.
on WZMQ CBS.
Good evening, everyone. The first Upper Peninsula Sports Writers and Sportscasters Association high school football polls have been released. Most of the time, you can have a couple teams with legitimate reasons for being number one at the 1/3 point of the regular season, and yes, that includes this year. Menominee reached the Division 7 state final last year, dropping a close decision to Jackson Lumen Christi at Ford Field. Good news for the Maroons, Lumen Christi is in Division 6 this year. That's bad news, though, for Negaunee and a few others. Menominee doing quite well so far, outscoring their opponents 170-25 in its first 3 victories, 59-18 over Westwood on Friday, so they're averaging just under 57 points per game. The Maroons return to Walton Blush Stadium this Friday to host the Calumet Copper Kings. And despite all those fine words, Marquette is your leader in the 11-player poll. Now, why, you ask? Well, the Sentinels have outscored their opponents 136-0 in their first 3 games. Marquette dropped Gaylord 30-0 on Saturday. That had a 99-yard touchdown pass from Ford Richardson to Kyler Sager. Eric Mason's squad will take on 1-2 Lowell Saturday. Menominee is second in the poll, followed by Kingsford and Negaunee. They play each other in Kingsford Friday, and Iron Mountain is 5th. In the 8-player rankings, Forest Park is the leader, outscoring its foes 129-34. Pickford is next, bigger margin though, 169-18. Pickford hosts Ishpeming Friday. Munising, Ontonagon, and the Hematites round out the poll. Michigan Tech senior defensive back Hunter Beekle has been named the GLIAC Defensive Player of the Week. Led the Huskies with 7 total tackles, a couple tackles for a loss, a sack, and a forced fumble in Saturday's win over Hillsdale. The Huskies conclude the non-conference slate Saturday at Wisconsin-Oshkosh, 1 o'clock Eastern time start down there. The CCHA preseason teams have been announced, and believe it or not, the coaches and the media were able to get this one just the way they wanted to. The forwards are Isaac Gordon of Michigan Tech, Connor Milburn of Lake Superior State, and Lucas Wallen of St. Thomas. All 3 of those players kind of tied for preseason player of the year. The defensemen are Evan Murr of Minnesota State and Chase Pietla of Michigan Tech. The goalie is Matthias Scholl of Bemidji State. The Houghton boys and girls won the Calumet cross-country invitationals yesterday. Chassel's Calvin Kidda and Houghton's Tessa Raudiola were the individual winners. In the Tiffany Thorpe invite at Newberry, the Rudyard boys and Newberry girls prevailed. Angadine's Taylor Dakota was the boys' winner, and Pickford's Talia Schreiber was the girls' race winner. In Alger County at the Superior Central invite, the Stevenson boys and the Ewan Trout Creek girls took home the team trophies. Stevenson's Kanan Kunze captured the boys' run, while Escanaba's Alicia Maybe placed first for the girls. She definitely placed first for that matter. Catching up on some volleyball, Florence won the Rock Invitational down in Gladstone, defeating Forest Park in the final 2-1. And over at the Baraga Invite in Division 1, it was Dollar Bay edging Ironwood, and Ishpeming took care of Lakeland and Hubble in Division 2. And we will be right back.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
25 years of fun, and you're invited. It's the silver anniversary of the Downtown Marquette Farmers Market. Come celebrate with us every Saturday morning at the Marquette Commons. From 9 to 1, you'll find a wide variety of local foods, produce, art, and so much more. Plus, the Wednesday night Farmers Market on the 100 block of West Washington Street is back from 5 to 8. For more information, visit mqtfarmersmarket.com. The Farmers Market is presented by the Marquette TDA and sponsored by Flagstar Bank and WZMQ 19.
My passion is keeping the UP informed. After 30 years telling you about what's going on outside your house, I'm now running for state representative to keep you informed about what's going on in Lansing. We deserve a representative who will listen, learn, and lead on the issues that matter for the UP. I'll always put Peninsula over politics. With your vote, I'll work with anyone and everyone to bring clearer skies for Upper Peninsula families.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
We could have some patchy fog tomorrow, even mid-morning, especially Escanaba heads up there in Iron Mountain. Overall, though, should be a warm day. Bowie, get those sunglasses out. That high around 80 degrees there by the end of the day. That UP fishing forecast for, Ice Fishing and Hunting Expo looks like some possible rain.
All right, thanks, Aaron. That's all we have for now. We'll see you later tonight.